From above, Thailand looks like several countries joined in Toon-long shape. Normount Ains descend toward broad central plains. The dry Korat Plateau fills much of the northeast, and Arrow Peninsula then reaches south between the Gulf of Thailand and the Andaman Sea. The country covers about 1,200 square kilometers and borders Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and Malaysia. Its position links continental's Pisa with maritimer out toward the Indian Ocean. This geography explains Thailand's diversity. Headwater forests around Chiang Mai, rice fields across the Chao Phraya Basin, crowded streets in Bangkok, sandstone plateaus along the Mekong, and limestone islands off the southern coast. Thailandese often introduce the Phra temples and beaches, but those landmarks are products of a deeper structure. Water, elevation, and monsoon winds organize the kingdom from its highest ridges was tropical islands. Northern Thailand is a landscape of holded ranges, forested valley, and driver headwaters. Dwindin then on the country's highest point at R. Wubai Peters rises southwest of Chiang Mai. The mountains are part of Halarger system extending through Myanmar, Laos and Sunth China. Valleys between them provided routes for settlement and trade, while higher slopes supported forests and distinct local communities. Chiang Mai developed beside the Ping River in a broad basin ringed by mountains. Its old city still follows a nearly square moat, a defensive geometry visible from the air. Temples gleam nearby hills and overlooked a modern urban regions spying across the valley floor. Seasonal haze, forest fire, and langes no effect then or tossed atmosphere. Wylier servor and protected or a shelf manage water. Then Orth is not Thailand's remoter roof. It is the source of rivers that support life far downstream. The Chao Phraya begins where Deeping and Nan rivers meet at Nakhon Sawan, then flows out Thailand's largest plain. Adamant carried from the north built this low, fertile basin over thousands and so years. Canals distribute water across fields, connect communities, and drainland during the monsoon. Rice farming became the foundation of settlement and trade, turning the central plain into one of the country's most productive regions. From above, paddies form a shifting mosaic, reflective water during planting, dense green during growth, and gold near harvest. Roads and factories now cut the seasonal landscape, especially around Bangkok's expanding Metropolis edge. The river remains an economic corridor, but its floodplain is also a risk zone. Embankments, reservoirs, and drainage systems attempt to control water that naturally spreads across flat ground. Thailand's central wealth was built by the river, and its future still depends on making room for it. North of Bangkok, Ayutthaya occupies an island formed by the Chao Phraya, Lop Buri, and Pasak rivers. Founded in the 14th century, it became the capital of a powerful kingdom and one of Asia's great trading cities. Waters served a shyway, moat, and connection to the Sea. Fauna emerged and survived through an network of rivers and canals, while temples and palace rose inside and beyond these. The city was destroyed in Isan by Lushitsi, but its blatthowers, monasteries, and budhamages remain within a modern urban landscape. UNESCO recognizes the historic park as evidence of a major center of diplomacy and commerce. From above, Ayutthaya reveals a curing pattern, political power gathered where waterways met. Therein are no isolated monuments. They stay tossed with roads, homes, field, and flawed defenses, showing how every era adapted this river's geography to different needs. Bangkok grew near the mouth of the Chao Phraya, where river transport connected the central plain to global shipping. The historic center occupies the Easter Bank, protected by bend and canals that once made water the city's main street system. Today, expressways, rail lines, and high-rise is strict sexton fare across the flat delta. The river still organized as the skyline, Royland religious landmarks face its banks. Ferries cross between neighborhoods and carking moves toward the Gulf. Bangkok's success also magnifies its exposure. Much of the metropolis is low-lying. Groundwater extraction contributed to subsidence, and intense rain can overwhelm drainage. Development replaces absorbent ground with concrete wildly suppresses against the delta from the south. From above, Bangkok appears endlessly urban, yet its future is inseparable from the canals, wetlands, and dry Chanbest. Hidden within that expansion, Thailand's temples are more than decorative landmarks. Buddhist monasteries often function as centers of education, Sephanidi, community memory, and local identity. Their compounds are easy to recognize from the air, bright tile drew of S. Tolchtiz, courtyards and boundary wall street-ordered spaces with indens and neighborhoods or open countryside. Theravada Buddhism reached their origin through long networks connecting South and Southeast Asia, then developed a distinctive they forms under successive kingdoms. Temple designed responds to climate as well as belief. Steep roofs shed monsoon rain, shaded galleries reduce heat, and elevated structures protect impotent spaces. In Bangkok, monumental temples share the riverfront with government and commerce in the north and northeast. Regional styles reflect older cultural connections. Aerial views reveal how acrid buildings ensure the everyday landscape. They are not separate from the geography. They are points where history, architecture, and community meet. Northeastern Thailand, widely known as Isan, occupies the Korat plate up between mountain rims and the Mekong River. Their region is flatter and generally drier than the central plain, with sandy soils and rainfall that vary sharply between seasons. Rice farming remains important, but many fields depend more directly on monsoon timing because irrigation is extensive. The Mun and Cha rivers cross the play before joining the Mekong. Along the eastern border, the Great Traverse parrot Thailand from Laos, while also connecting communities with shared languages, food and music, archaeological sites, and capoeira networks that ignored modern boundaries. Isan has supplied labor to Bangkok and other growth centers, making migration part of its human geography. From above, reservoirs, villages, and rectangular fields show our region constantly adapting to water limits, economic change, and the pull of distant cities. Southern Thailand narrows into a peninsula between two very different coasts. The Gulf of Thailand is relatively shallowed and sheltered, while the Andaman side faces deeper water and the open Indian Ocean. A mountain chain forms the interior spine, forcing roads and settlements into coastal plains and drier valleys. Rainfall patterns differ from one side to the other because monsoon winds meet the terrain at different divisions. The south produces rubber, palm oil, fruit and fisheries, while ports connect regional trade routes. Communities also reflect centuries of movement between mainland Scandinavia and the Malay world. The Peninsula's narrowness creates strategic importance. Land and sea route test passed through a corridor only a few hundred kilometers wide. From above, beaches may dumb in a hivage, but the deeper geography is a long bridge where two marine systems, multiple cultures, and continental trader outs converge. Around Krabi and Phang Bay, limestone rises from these isolated towers. These rocks begin as marine sediments, then were uplifted, fractured, and dissolved by slight lays into crane water. Over time, caves, cliffs, and enclosed laddo once formed inside he karst. Wind sea level rose after the last passage, lower valleys floated and left the highest trosses lands. The result is one of Thailand's most recognizable landscapes, vertical green walls standing above turquoise channels. Beaches collect only where waves and currents scan deposits, and while mangroves occupy sheltered mudflats, boats move through route as the roads could never follow. The salmon arrow caves and steep cliffs that create visual drama also concentrate visitors in fragile places. From above, the Andaman coast is a lesson in geology, a drowned limestone landscape where erosion continues above and below the waterline. Phuket is Thailand's largest island and one of its best-known international destinations. A bridge links it to the mainland, while airports, roads, and insirs or districts connect beaches that were once parroted by forested headlands. Farther east, the Phip Islands draw visitors into bays enclosed by limestone cliffs. Tourism transformed their regional economy, creating jobs in transport, construction, hospitality, and food. It also increased pressure on reefs, freshwater, waste systems, and coastal land. The Indianascent tsunami of Archilingsid demonstrated another dimension of exposure, striking developed shores around the Andaman Sea. Recovery brought stronger warning systems and new awareness of coastal risk. From above, boats and hotels show the scale of demand, while clear water reveals the coast system, on which that demand depends. The challenge is to protect the landscape that made the coast valuable before popularity overwhelms it. Thailand's climate is governed by seasonal winds. The southwest monsoon carries moist air from the Indian Ocean and brings widespread rain, while the northeast monsoon carries moist air, including heavy rain on parts of the outer and Gulf Coast. This side supports forests and agriculture, but timing matters. A delayed monsoon can reduce forage and crop yields. Intense rainfall can flood cities and driver plains in Archenling Ishiyi. Prolonged flooding across the Chao Phraya basin affected communities. industry and global supply chains. Climate change adds heat and uncertainty, increasing evaporation while making extreme rainfall more damaging. Water management therefore operates across scales. Mountain forests store season afflow. Canals drain fields and cities, and coastal wetlands absorb tides. From the air, floodwater and drought are not opposites. They are different expressions of the same challenge: how to live with a climate that rarely delivers water exactly the right place or season. Thailand's economy reflects the geography of its regions. Central Plains support rice and food processing. Then Northeast produces rice, cassava, and sugar crops under drier conditions. Northern highlands grow fruit, vegetables, and coffee, while the humid south supports rubber and oil palm. Around Bangkok and the eastern seaboard, factories, ports, and logistics corridors connect Thailand Taklog, Bao manufacturing network. Automobiles, electronics, food products, and chemicals move through an economy farmer divers and tourism alone. Yet the landscape remains visible inside that modernization. Industrial estates depend on flood control and driver water. Ports depend on stable coast and shipping channels. Farms depend on seasonal rain and migrant labor. Markets and kitchens and turn regional products into one of Thailand's strongest cultural exports. From above, fields, highways, cities, and harbors form a single system, linking local terrain to the wider world. Thailand's future will be shaped by the same forces that built it: water, movement, and regional connection. Bangkok must adapt to subsidence, heavier rain, and rising seas without cutting itself off from the river and canals that sustain it. Northeast communities face heat, smoke, and pressure on forests that protect headwaters. Farmers across the Central Plain and Isan must manage greater uncertainty in rainfall. Southern islands must balance tourism with reefs, mangroves, freshwater, and waste capacity. Protected areas conserve important ecosystems, but roads and development continue to fragment habitat. One of these challenges belongs to one province alone. Rivers connect mountains to deltas, and tourism connects distant coasts to global demand. Thailand has repeatedly adapted its cities, agriculture, and trade to changing conditions. From Chiang Mai's valleys to Bangkok's skyline and the limestone island of the Andaman Sea, that ability to adjust will determine what survives from above.